Let's break down the plot of the 2019 action comedy, The Dude in Me. The notorious gangster Zhang Pan-su is used to handling most matters the old-fashioned way, with force and intimidation. He is about to close a major deal worth a fortune, but first, he needs to grab a bite. However, after just a couple of spoonfuls of noodles, Pan-su is ready to pay and leave. Sitting nearby is a timid high school student, Kim Dong-hyun, who devours 5 whole bowls of noodles and then casually says he forgot his wallet at home. The restaurant owner asks the gangster to pay for the boy and promises him an unforgettable gift in return. Pan-su is stunned. How could this kid eat so much? As Pan-su tries to drive away, a garbage truck blocks the road. Meanwhile, Dong-hyun is attempting to retrieve his sneaker, which some bullies have tossed onto an antenna on the roof. The boy slips and falls, right onto the gangster. Both are rushed to the same hospital. When Pan-su regains consciousness, he steps into the hallway, only to be confused when people start calling him a high schooler. His shock reaches new heights when he discovers his own body lying in the next room. Looking in the mirror, he sees a young boy instead of himself. A doctor explains to the patient and his father that this is a temporary effect due to memory loss. Pan-su returns home, but his wife refuses to believe that a chubby student is actually her husband. She calls security, and Pan-su ends up at the police station with a fine. He heads back to the hospital and repeatedly jumps onto his old body. But nothing happens. His right-hand man, Manchul, sees the schoolboy harassing his unconscious boss and warns that he'll beat the brat if he shows up again. With no other choice, Pan-su decides to play along and live as the high schooler for now. He goes home with Dong-hyun's father, who wants to find out who forced his son onto the roof. However, the boy confidently assures him that he'll handle it himself. At school, Pan-su notices that his classmates glare at him with hostility. In the cafeteria, bullies force Hyun, the protagonist's friend, to serve Dong-chul. Meanwhile, the popular girls bully a classmate, Oh Hyun-jung. Pan-su yells at them to stop. One of the bullies threatens to deal with him after class. After school, the thug waits for him, but Pan-su isn't afraid. He walks straight up to the troublemaker. The bully is shocked that the eternal loser is suddenly standing his ground. Another thug rushes in, but he also gets beaten. Pan-su calmly walks away. In the restroom, the chubby student sees bullying photos of Dong-hyun on the thug's phone and takes it. At home, Pan-su finds a video on the phone showing the bullies tormenting Dong-hyun on the rooftop right before he falls onto the gangster. Pan-su confronts the leader of the bullies and returns the phone, warning him that he made a copy of the rooftop video. He then heads back to the hospital, where he finds his assistant, Manchul. The young student lays out a series of facts that only he and his boss would know. Finally, Manchul believes that the boy in front of him is really Pan-su. Manchul explains that he has been staying at the hospital because another gangster, Yang, wants to kill the boss. It seems the order is coming from the head of the mafia himself. Near the school, Pan-su sees Oh Hyun-jung drop a stuffed teddy bear. He catches up to her and returns the toy. To his surprise, when he sees her mother, Miss Oh, he realizes she is the woman he was in love with in his youth. Pan-su plucks a strand of hair from Hyun-jung, runs a DNA test, and discovers that she is his daughter. Determined to clean up his act, the gangster starts working out to befriend the daughter he never knew existed and protect her from school bullies. He gives her a gym membership, and they begin intense training with professional fighter Manchul. As Pan-su strengthens the chubby teenager's body, he also teaches his daughter how to stand up for herself, though she has no idea of his true intentions. Time passes, and the gangster now looks stunning in his youthful body. He gets a stylish haircut, swaps his glasses for contact lenses, and suddenly becomes the center of attention for many schoolgirls. Pan-su is proud of his daughter, who can now fight back against the school bullies. Miss Oh thanks the young man for helping her daughter gain confidence and treats him to a bowl of noodles. When 3 drunk customers start harassing the restaurant owner, the schoolboy jumps into action, single-handedly taking down the grown men. "Who are you?" the shocked woman asks. Pan-su confesses the truth to Miss Oh, that he switched bodies with a student. However, she doesn't believe him. To prove it, the gangster shares details about her that only her ex-lover would know. Finally, she realizes he's telling the truth. But instead of joy, she is furious. After all, Pan-su abandoned her years ago. She demands that he leave. At school, Hyun-jung asks her classmate why her mother forbade them from talking, but Pan-soo avoids answering. Soon, an attractive student, Min-woo, approaches Hyun-jung and invites her to a party at his luxurious mansion. Excited, she accepts. She has never been invited to a party before. Meanwhile, Pan-soo convinces Miss Oh to meet with him. He apologizes for the pain and suffering he caused her. She tells him it's too late and is angry that he disappeared for so many years. As she turns to leave, he catches up to her and kisses her. Miss Oh threatens to take him to the police. But just then, Hyun's friend calls, saying he overheard a conversation. Something dangerous is happening at the party involving her daughter. The gangster jumps into his car and speeds toward the mansion. When Pan-soo storms inside, he sees Min-woo harassing his daughter while the others prevent her from escaping. Pan-soo quickly takes down the gang of bullies, while the well-trained Hyun-jung lands several powerful punches on Min-woo. The others don't dare attack, and the duo calmly leaves the mansion. Man-chul explains to Pan-soo that Yang framed him, falsely reporting to the mafia boss that he had stolen $3 million from their reserves. Moreover, while Pan-soo was in a coma, Yang started an affair with his wife. Pan-soo sends a letter to the mafia boss through Man-chul, revealing the entire truth. Hyun-jung suddenly confesses her feelings for Pan-soo and asks if they can date. Not knowing what else to say, he blurts out that he loves her mother. Shocked, the girl runs away. Meanwhile, Dong-hyun finally regains consciousness in the gangster's body. At that moment, Yang sneaks into the hospital room, intending to eliminate his rival. But startled, the thug slips, hits his head, and loses consciousness. Dong-hyun rushes home to his father, but the man refuses to believe that the adult in pajamas is his son. Just then, Pan-soo enters and explains everything that happened. The two decide to help each other and come up with a plan. They go to Miss Oh to tell her that they have switched bodies again. But at that moment, Yang bursts into the cafe with his henchmen. Pan-soo orders Miss Oh and the student to take cover in the kitchen. The mafia boss sends his men after Pan-soo, but he quickly takes them down one by one. Seeing this, Yang calls in his best fighter, a martial arts master. A brutal battle begins. Just as Pan-soo starts gaining the upper hand, Yang strikes him over the head with a fire extinguisher, knocking him to the floor. At that moment, Miss Oh opens a gas tank and threatens to blow up the cafe if the gangsters don't leave. After years of separation, she is finally ready to forgive the father of her daughter. Meanwhile, the mafia boss summons his daughter, Soo-yeon, Pan-soo's wife. He shows her the letter from her husband. In it, Pan-soo exposes Yang's conspiracy, revealing that he and Soo-yeon had planned to eliminate him and seize control of the criminal organization. Enraged, the mafia boss disowns his daughter and decides to hand everything over to Pan-soo, but the gangster refuses the fortune. He says it's finally time for him to focus on his family. Hugging the student, Pan-soo thanks him. At that moment, his wife sees them and swears revenge. She speeds toward Pan-soo in her car at full throttle. The gangster pushes Dong-hyun aside and takes the full impact himself. Severely injured, he is rushed to the hospital. Before losing consciousness, Pan-soo confesses to Hyun-jung that she is his daughter. Beside him, Dong-hyun also faints. The surgery is performed by the same cafe owner who once forced Pan-soo to pay for the student's meal. 6 months later, the two have switched back to their original bodies. Dong-hyun is discharged from the hospital and returns to school. His classmates greet him joyfully, and the girls gaze at him in admiration. But he only has eyes for Hyun-jung. Yang is sent to prison. Pan-soo and Miss Oh decide to start over. The former gangster buys a cafe for his beloved, where they work together with Dong-hyun's father and Man-chul. How did you like the movie? Share your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.